Okay, here we are looking at lesson number 2 of our exhibition poster. And this is where we kind of left off. I was trying to move things around, and um, you can see that this setup doesn't look so great. I wanted to make the picture bigger, and so I made it bleed off the edges. Go here to normal mode, you can see that. And I've got text lining up left, and I've got text lining up right, and I've got text centered. Bad, 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 bad. Don't do that. All right? You want to clean up and make coherent structure to the information that you're presenting. That goes by the technical name of grid design. So again, it's another thing we can look up online. You can say, hey, what is grid design? You make things line up into elements that work as a structure so it's easy for people to view. All right. So meanwhile, we're trying out a few versions of this, and I want you to make 4, 5, 6 versions of this poster. Let's see how your ideas change, see what you like in terms of different design ideas. Right? So with this one, I'm working with this tree picture, and so the idea of air and space and breathing works for me. All right? But I don't like this version. So let's go to version C. Said, oh, let's make that picture bigger. Flood the whole design with the image. Now, that's kind of neat. But you can see that with this massive variegated set of tones, the variety of tones in there, we can't see the type at all. Right? So one function of type is to be readable, and this ain't it. So what can I do? I can go up to my type tool, and I can select those letters right there, and I can say, go up here to the menu bar on top, where that little T is, and I can change the color. So we need to make it stand out. I can make it red. Sorry, let's put this back onto preview mode. Red on green, I don't like the look of that either. All right. So you want to try out different stuff. So I had kind of thought that, okay, just let me go with plain white, because that background is a little bit light. And notice how that stands out pretty well against that dark section. You can decide whether you need to do more for that or less of that, but that seems to be okay for the moment. All right. You can also change your typeface to try and make it stand out more. Instead of being regular, I can make it bold, and that gives it more presence. Okay. One thing I probably don't want to do is try italic, because italic will put it into finer slanted letters, which against this mixed background is going to make it less readable. Okay. Generally with type, we're looking for clean and simple, because we want the photograph to look best. So let's change that back to bold. That's not so bad. Okay, now with all this stuff down here, you also want to make a hierarchy of your information. So the title is the biggest point. Let's make that stand out. The other types should be smaller. Don't use 5 different typefaces with a poster. 2, maybe. I'll show you some examples with 6 and 8. They're kind of funny. So if this type needs to be smaller to maintain the hierarchy between the title and the other information, I can't make it all bold and all the same size. It would just be a tad overbearing. So even doing that, no, it's nowhere near enough. Okay, and I want to keep that difference in hierarchy between the headline and the rest of the information. So I'm going to leave that as regular. But I thought, wait a minute, let me put a box behind that information so that it will stand out. Now, we can just take a box and just draw a box. Now, I want to put some color in that box so that it will make a background for the type. Make sure that you have that box selected, and go up to your color palette here. And what red? also notice that it's sitting on top of the type. So we're going to go up to our object palette and go to the arrangement, and we're going to send that layer, that backwards. Okay, all this information is on the same layer right now. Okay. Big red box is pretty awful. Okay, so let's not pick that. All right, let's see, I could go with black. Can't see my type now. I could change that, and I could somehow in here select my type. Oops, missed a couple letters. And make that stand out against the black. But again, I'm talking hierarchy of information, and so I don't like this big black box sitting on the white type sitting on the big black box. It's too strong and distracting from the rest of the image. All right? So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to finish this video while the phone rings.